Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, CockyRetrospect here. So a summer wash day was requested by Janelle Jadu, and here it is. I know you specified updated routine, but really I haven't been season specific with my wash day for a while now, but this is what I would do. I also want to preface this wash day by saying that I'm not at all focusing on making sure my curls pop. I wasn't even aware of how to do that back in the day. So this is great for me because I've been wanting to cornrow my hair more, but when it's kind of been curl trained, it makes parting and braiding a bit harder. But just in case you're a bit about some of the ingredients I choose to use in this wash day, you can always refer to my other wash day video, which I'll have linked above. So here I am. I've already detangled half of my hair and I'll be doing the other side. Though you might have seen me detangle before, I always like to highlight the detangling process because it's the most time-consuming part of my wash day. And from your messages, it takes up a lot of your time as well. So I just want you to know that you are not alone when it comes to having to get over the mental hump of detangling your hair. If you think that I have super easy, not so tangly hair, you would be sadly mistaken. I go through this weekly and that's just the nature of my fine, kinky hair. It always has been, but I really want you to know the amount of patience that I'm taking with my hair. If I wasn't patient and I just got frustrated and ripped through my hair, it would be very damaging. So I implore all of you to be in the right mindset before you even commence your wash days. And you might have heard this before, but I'll just keep reminding you from time to time, okay? Because this step can literally make or break your hair. And just make sure that your parts are as clean as possible. This will also help to prevent unnecessary damage. However, being honest, I never actually detangled my hair when I was first doing my regimen in high school, but I'm just so used to it now that I just had to. So yeah, just detangle, snip off any scraggly ends, and give your hair the tender loving care that it needs. So I let my hair dry a little bit more in the twist than I should have, but let's ignore that. But I'm going to really get into it now, and that would mean starting with an oil treatment. More presently, I do hot oil treatments after I've shampooed, but back in the day, I would do it before. Oiling your hair before can also help to prevent your hair and scalp from being stripped by the shampoo, which is why many people actually still do it before, but it's really up to you, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to start off by drenching my hair with a little bit of water. And the oil I have is just an organic coconut oil I picked up from Whole Foods, which was probably around $6. So it's pretty affordable. And I put a little bit in a bowl, heated it up so I can apply it a bit easier. And I know I didn't put it in an applicator bottle, but you can definitely do so if you so choose. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it with my hands. Make sure that it really gets to your scalp, and please be aware that back in the day, my wash routine had a lot of coconut oil in it, but don't worry. Like I said, the other wash day video still exists, so you can perhaps use that one as a reference for products, or just interchange the products I use with the ones that you like. If you are protein sensitive, I have heard that some don't like coconut oil because it can make the hair feel a bit dry and brittle, similar to when you have like an overload of protein. That's not everybody, but do find what works for you. If you do experience the dry and the brittleness, the dryness and the brittleness, you can definitely use a different oil of your choice or skip this step. But a few other oils that I love to use are almond oil, avocado oil, and ava oil. So just make sure that you saturate your entire head with the oil and work it gently into your scalp, especially on your strands, and then massage that oil in so it can work its magic. If you want, you can put like a calm playlist and really make this a self-care day. I've already cleared my entire schedule, okay, for the day, so I might as well just make it as calming as possible. And I'm definitely trying to work on making my regular wash days a bit less time consuming, but for the days that I don't feel like rushing, I just won't, okay? And I'll enjoy the process, because back in my day, the wash days were quite long. And back to tailoring the wash day to the seasons, there have been studies that indicate your hair grows the most during the summer months, so best to capitalize on that growth if you so choose during that time. And the best way to do that is to make sure your ends are protected, and of course, making sure that your regimen includes products that protect your hair and that you're consistent with your regimen. I remember the products I liked using pretty much all contained glycerin, which the products today do have. And I specifically made sure that the leave-in I used contained glycerin. And just as a quick note, glycerin takes moisture where it is present in higher levels and draws them to things that contain lower levels of moisture. So from the air to your hair. And also, YouTuber Curly Chemistry made a video on glycerin, and I'll link it below. So you'll be able to find people who love it, hate it, but that's all right. This is just what worked for me. And also be aware that glycerin doesn't help you to maintain definition, but can make your hair frizzier when it's humid. So check your products just in case you're trying to avoid that. But the main objective for me in using these products was just to make sure that my hair was properly moisturized, wasn't breaking off, and was healthy. And also note that even though I didn't know my hair could be defined back in the day, I still knew my hair was healthy. Even stronger note, if your hair is not defined, that does not mean it's not healthy. One of the best health indicators for me was that I wasn't getting a ton of breakage, like at all, and that means length retention. So I just got from under my soft touch dryer, and my hair just feels so soft and it feels super moisturized. So I'm a happy camper. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and wet my hair down and saturate it with water so that I can get ready to shampoo it. Back from wetting my hair, and yes, I am going to be shampooing outside of the shower. It's just easier for me to record. I'm going to be using the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Shampoo. This is an oldie but a goodie, and I think I've mentioned it before, but yes, we'll be using it again today. I had an older one that I'm just going to use up before I crack open the new one, but yeah. So as you can see, I don't have my hair in twists, which I usually do, but back in the day, I never washed my hair in twists. In present day, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really just depends. As you can see, I definitely am bringing the shampoo down the length of my hair, but yeah, that's fine. Really just depends on the amount of buildup that I feel like I have. But if you are adverse to that and you just want to like wash your scalp and then let it run down the length of your hair, that's fine too. Again, do what works best for you. And so yeah, just make sure you thoroughly wash your scalp, scrub it with the pads of your finger. Here I am trying to make a mohawk, and I failed at that. And I used to do this all the time, but now it's just not working. But anyways, I know that I'm tired at this point, so I'm just gonna go ahead, rinse off, and deep condition my hair. And here I am, freshly washed and ready to deep condition. And I'm really gonna take this one back because I'm gonna be using Palmer's Coconut Oil Deep Conditioner Protein Packs, and I haven't used these in so long. But just in case you are protein sensitive or again, coconut oil sensitive, Palmer's does have like an olive oil deep conditioning pack, which focuses more on moisture than protein. But if you've tried them and you don't like either of them, just feel free to use whatever works best for you. And also be aware that they do have silicones. So if you are fully against silicones, know that it does contain that. But anywho, I've really been thinking about like deep conditioners lately because they are such an important part in my hair care regimen. And honestly, they have been for so long, truly a game changer. But a lot of the good ones just seem so expensive nowadays. So I understand the struggle of trying to find quality products at an affordable price, and I really just want to go around and test out some deep conditioners, both like affordable and on the pricier side, because I do get asked a lot for recommendations. But I mean, I know what works for me might not always work for you guys, but sometimes I really just want to know like what does work for me, you know? So yeah, if a suggestion works, great. If not, then maybe look into like return policies or maybe trade products with a friend. But just going back to these protein packs, I absolutely used to love these because they are super affordable. They're like less than $2 each. So if you're like strapped for cash, which I mean, definitely I was, I think that it's a pretty good buy. Never really did me wrong. Affordable that it doesn't really break the bank, you know, as opposed to a $10 plus deep conditioner. But just to let you know, as I'm applying it, it doesn't have a ton of slip, so feel free to add a slippery oil if you need to. And just note that it's not a super strong protein treatment like AphoG, where your hair gets like super hard that you can't comb through it, just as an FYI. And then I add more product to parts that just need it. And also just make sure that you apply it to areas that are more prone to breakage, so the front of your hair, the nape of your neck, and where you part your hair the most. So I part my hair a lot down the middle, so I just make sure that those strands are covered from root to tip. I'm just gonna bun it up using the same plastic bag from before because recycling, and then we're headed under the hooded dryer again for about 20 minutes. Here I am with my hair all rinsed from the deep conditioner, and I split it up into sections, as you can see, just so I can easily apply my leave-in. We are almost done. And today I'm gonna be using the Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie it smells nostalgic. And I spoke about this in a previous video about how much I used it just about every day back in the day. And I do know that there are a lot of people who don't like it nowadays. One reason being they changed the formula, but I really wanted to see if it would still work for me. And also I realized that so many of the products that I used back in the day are like non-existent or like altered beyond recognition. And I mean, one of the main products I always think about is Aubrey Organics GPB conditioner, which I've mentioned here before. Apparently the company went bankrupt, and I checked their website. It looks like you can still order from them, but I just purchased what I could find at like Target. So yeah. So here I am, just like detangling. It actually doesn't have that much slip, but it's not actively tangling up my hair, which some leave-ins can. So that gives me the green light to keep applying, which I'm very happy about. The next product I'm going to be using is the Carol's Daughter Mimosa Hair Honey, and it's basically a pomade, and I would grease my scalp religiously back in the day. So I'm going to do that today as well. But the go-to in my household used to be the green Dax pomade, and I still remember the grease stains on my pillows and everything else my head came into contact with. But I don't have my trusty Dax pomade with me today because I realized I had the Mimosa Hair Honey and I didn't want to spend the extra coin. So, but yeah, as you can see, I am using products that are quite heavy. And so if you just don't want your hair to be like really heavy and weighed down, then yeah. But you can always resort to a lighter leave-in and a lighter oil. And as you can see, I'm not adding a gel at all. And I know that somebody asked me like, how can I like stop frizz in the summer? Of course you can add a gel or maybe even a hairspray, but I never did that, and I still kind of don't do that. My hair frizzes up in the summer and I just let it do what it does. I know that that look isn't for everybody, but honestly I love it, so I just gotta embrace it. But as for today, I'm actually going to do a Bantu knot set. So as you can see, I'm just parting it off here, and this is for my literal lazy naturals. If you do not have time for braids, for cornrows, or even two-strand twists, and your ends are protected, it's easy to install, easy to take down if you want to wear them out. And they do take a while to dry though, but yeah, really simple. And if Bantu knots aren't your style, there are many other simple protective styles you can try. Oh, and another thing, also in my last video, I mentioned having webbed knots in my hair, and I see that you share this frustration as well. And there are many reasons it can happen, from friction on things your hair rubs up against, to shed hair being stuck in your hair, or to even shrinkage, which for me does lead to a lot of tangles. And personally, I do have fine hair strands, and so they do need to be in a stretched state to keep from tangling and breaking. I recently made a post on Instagram about that, and people did agree, like just stretching your hair really does help keep away the tangles. But I also thought back and realized that many of the products I used to use were really heavy back in the day, and they literally weighed my hair down and kept my hair in a stretched and elongated state. So I never had to deal with that webbing before. So back in the day when I used to use the curl enhancing smoothie, it was a super heavy product, still is, but it does coat my strands and helps to weigh them down. So as new products came out, of course, the product junkie inside of me wanted to explore. However, I noticed that so many of the products I've tried in recent years, specifically leave-ins, were on the lighter, kind of waterier side. Well, I know that a lot of you out there don't want weighed down hair. I feel like for me, my hair actually wants to be weighed down so that it doesn't get tangled as much. But yeah, I think that from now on, I'm gonna incorporate heavier products into my regimen more consistently just to see how my hair responds. And one last thing, so this wasn't a thing back in the day, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of this follicle enhancer from Ed Naturel, and super excited that it's a Black-owned business. It has really nice peppermint scent, and I'm a sucker for natural scents, so both mint and citrus are at the top of my list, so that's definitely a plus. They sent me a jar of their edge cream, and I'm super grateful that I get to try it out. So I'll be using it for about a month or two, and then I'll let you know how I feel about it in the end. So yeah, I'll link them down below. I think I did mention that I had my hair braided and got traction alopecia on the right side of my head, which was literally terrible, like the pictures. But I mean, it is growing back, but it is slower to grow in general than the rest of my hair. So I'm really hoping this comes through for me. So yeah, back on the Bantu knots. Also just make sure you don't make them super duper tight, because you could end up damaging your follicles, and we don't want that, right? We want nice, healthy hair. But anyways, this is my face trying to figure out how else to part my hair. And this is me figuring it out now. So I'm gonna go ahead, part it in the back, but I couldn't see, so I went to grab my mirror. and with my handy dandy mirror, I was able to finish the rest of my head, and this is me, all done. Kind of reminds me of a turtle. And I'll probably be rocking this for the rest of the week. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!